Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Today, we're going to be talking about why land makes a possible good investment for women with my guest, land experts Dayn Conrad and John Ehlers, as well as Tracey Mays, a land investor herself. Welcome to the show, everybody. Let's talk some dirt. So the kind of dirt, though, that we invest in, right? Yes. So I wanted to talk about this today because I read some statistics that said women own about 12% of land. And I think in this case, they're talking about raw land, not land underneath your home. So raw land investments, if women own about 12%, I wanted to do a show on this to understand why it is that men own 88% of all the land and how we can start to address that issue. So guys, I know you're land experts. You've been land brokers for over a decade. Before that, let's just tell people what you did before that, Dr. Ehlers.
Right. So, I was a chiropractor for about 30 years. And a real estate agent for that same time. Been a managing broker now for over 40 years and discovered this about 18 years ago, and it absolutely changed our lives on how we invest. Dayn and I controlled 60 rental units, so we've done the tenants, toilets, and troubles. And thank you, and it kind of meant we knew all the judges in the court system in Denver. And I'll let Dayn talk about when he was growing up, how he told his mother at 8 years old to buy land.
Oh my gosh, I love that story. And Dayn, you are an entrepreneur, having created a hair care line, which
hair care, bath and body line. It was 97 products called Umlavi. And a published author. I was in the salon and spa industry for almost 30 years, and we were doing real estate together at the same time. So we look back now at our past of all these different careers and corporations and things we were doing. It was like, what were we smoking? So when we discovered this, it really made sense to simplify our lives. We chose lifestyle over working like crazy, and our investment of our actually being able to retire, the vision of that has transformed considerably over that time period since we've been doing this. And that's a very pleasing feeling that now we're sharing this with other people too.
And so you first started investing in land and then became brokers with this company Valor that's been around for like 40 years, right?
Correct. Yeah. So everyone in the company starts as an investor, and they just invited us to join the company because we were sharing it with so many friends and family, and we're like, sure, one more company, why not? And we just fell in love with the vehicle. We fell in love with the company, the people involved, the lifestyle of it, and that's where we really went into this almost full time, actually 100% full time now.
Wow. Yeah. And over here we have Tracey Mays. Hi, Tracey.
Hi.
my good friend who's in the entertainment industry. And tell everybody a little bit about your background, who you are, and then why you decided to venture into land investing.
Okay. I've been doing commercial production for about 28 years or so. So pretty single focused for a long time, and, becoming I have my own company now and things like that. And I've been looking for different spaces to diversify in. Over the pandemic, since commercial production went way down, it gave me a lot of time to discover new things. Stock market, crypto, land, all kinds of things to diversify and to kind of step my toe in with people who are experts. And that's when I found Dayn and John, and they're experts in their field. And I can appreciate that, so I dove in.
I love that. And one of the things that we were just talking about is, I think oftentimes maybe people think land is an expensive endeavor. Mm-hmm. So I want to address that today, because also women tend to be more risk adverse than men, which is probably why more men own land than women by a long shot. But Also, I think it's people don't want to do what they don't know. And so one of the things I love about your program, the Valor program, and the two of you, is that you educate people. Like you have a whole program on educating people, and I'm going to say women today, women about land investing, what to look for, how to avoid buying a piece of land that is not saleable, how to know when it is a good investment, because I do think that's what people are gun shy about. Many people have probably gone out and tried to buy land, had a bad experience because they don't know what they're doing. That would happen anywhere, in the stock market, in crypto, whatever you're investing in. But I do think people tend to, and it's the same in the venture capital world, by the way. I find that women don't want to be angels only because they don't know what they're doing. And now there's angel groups out there that educate them. So it's kind of the same thing, I think, with the land, that they don't know what they're doing, but when there's a program like you guys have with Valor for them to educate themselves on it so they can make an educated decision of if that's a good investment for them, that makes all the difference. So talk a little bit about that, about the program that you do and how Valor has, I forget how many criteria, is it 14 or 15 criteria to determine if it's a valuable piece of land or not.
So first of all, let's set up some basic ground rules. Land is a divestment strategy. So let's be clear. This isn't the single bullet killer. This is a way for you to put your money in a very solid, tangible asset. So I want to make sure we understand that out of the gate. Certainly, if you do rentals, if you do the markets, by all means, keep playing there. From my knowledge base, Warren Buffett says 33% of your wealth base should be in a solid, tangible asset, and that's land. Number two, yes, our education is incredible.
Wait, I want to interrupt you 1 second and say that Warren Buffett owns a lot of land in the area that we're talking about today. Yeah. So Warren Buffett puts his money where his mouth is. Just wanted to squeeze that caveat.
Yeah, the top 10 wealthiest buy about 1 million acres of raw land a year, and they just do what we do. They put it in their back pocket.
Yes, Bezos, Buffett, Gates, all of them.
Yeah.
So if they're investing in land, it might be something to consider. Right. And I think, I bet you people are thinking, land? I can't afford land. So we're going to talk about how affordable it is.
Yes. But to the other regard, we have 15 experts. Our youngest baby in corporate headquarters is about 8 years old, 9 years old. So when
with
people
the company,
yeah,
right. They don't start employees that young.
Yeah, it's such a family business. You know, once they get in Valor, they stay, and 33 years is very common in our company. That's how great our company is, and that's why we still love it after 18 years. But yes, we go through a 26-point criteria on every piece of dirt, because not all dirt is buildable. And the third point is we have this incredible draw to women and to the lesbian population. So from our perspective, they get this a lot better than the men do. So we're seeing that 12% was rather shocking for me.
Yeah.
Because to bounce off of what John said too, is like we're completely amazed. It's like a majority of our clientele are women. Because most men that we run into are actually most kind of adverse to kind of getting into this, understanding it more than women. Not completely, but we really find that the women market or lesbian market are better savers, and they're more savvy. You do your research, you do your due diligence, you look into that, but you ask intelligent questions and savvy questions. And once you see the knowledge and see the simplicity of really what Valor set up over 42 years and the really how they monopolize this industry, because they're the only ones really that can do the intensive research and mitigate the risks that they do. So that's really the value, and it's all about the science. And then all it is a waiting game, waiting for the development to come to you. And the higher the density of the zoning as it changes, there's massive equity gain over time, but no one understands if you get there early enough, you're buying it for cents per square foot. Same knowledge. The city's already planned it out 10, 15 years ahead. Why would you wait 10, 15 years later to pay dollars? It's multiple dollars. So it's really a time period thing, and you're making all that equity over time, and that's really what we show people how to do. And you know, it's not expensive. We're talking about Warren Buffett and all these millionaire billionaires. We have investors that have invested as little as $10,000 or around that range or so. So it's very affordable because you're getting in there so early.
Right. And I want to turn over to Tracy, since you're a new investor in land, as am I. And I want to understand, because he talked about people thinking about it's not affordable. So talk about how you dove into it, because I know there were opportunities to get in with groups and how you did that. So that you joined a group of investors investing in land as opposed to buying your own parcel.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a small group. So I had talked to them about it, and I said, I'm really interested in this. And they took me out, and by the way, they take you out to where the dirt is, and you see everything that's going on there, and it's like it's pretty explosive over there. And they had people.
And when you say over there, let's just clarify that we're talking about investing in land in California. Because California doesn't have all that much land left to buy or sell. Correct. Like you guys call it like the gold rush. It's really true. There's only so much land available. Right. And so this is land not that far outside of Los Angeles. Right. And some of it's in Los Angeles County,
still in Los
some
Angeles.
in Kern County and so forth. But
Right, and so they took me out there, and we looked at some properties, and I, I think the initial investment was like $40,000, and so we found 4 of us who would do that. You know what I mean? They actually have a bunch of people in their database, and they just paired us up, and
so for
it was
as little
very easy. Very easy.
So you're saying for as little as $10,000, you were in a group and owning some land.
Correct.
And I also think the beauty of owning land that a lot of people don't think about, that you have brought to my attention, is it's the one real estate investment that you don't have monthly payments on. You're basically, once you buy it, you're just paying the taxes, which are a couple $100 a year or something like that, depending on how big the parcel is.
Right. But remember, you're protected by Prop 13 in California. So California is still one of the gold mines in owning real estate here. So it's the ideal situation for owning dirt. So once a year you pay your taxes. In my experience, we have 19 parcels now, and I think 3 of them have raised a couple dollars over our 18 years with Velour. So and I'll speak to that too. So really, it's very simple to do. As entrepreneurs, we don't have 401ks, we don't have IRAs. So for people like us, we saved each year and bought 1 parcel a year. Now, sometimes that was a $10,000 parcel. And when we had windfalls, we bought larger parcels. And of course, we're very private, so I'm not going to talk about other clients. But what we now control is about 350 acres within 90 miles of downtown LA. Now, anyone who lives anywhere near LA, just think about what that looks like in 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's what we bring to what I call the kitchen tables.
And I want to say, based on what you just said, is I do believe for myself and what we've done, because we have 4 parcels, is that it is a long term. It's not happening overnight, like putting money in a stock market where maybe you make money in a year, although I know you have had some people make money in a year or two. But we're literally looking at it for 5 to 10 years down the road. Like you said, there's only so much land available, and so it seems like a smart investment. We don't advocate any investments on this show, but we just like to make people aware. We want more women to venture out and look at what are the possibilities to diversify their portfolio. And land is certainly something that is an important consideration to diversify. Like you said, you want your stocks, you want your real estate, your bonds, whatever. But it's also good to look into what all the wealthiest people in this country, and I will say 100 of the wealthiest people, families in this country, I saw when I Googled this, own about as much land as the entire New England area.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they must know something that the rest of us don't, is the way I'm looking at it. So it's something we need to sit up and look at. But can we talk a little bit about what are some of the criteria you look at? I know you can't talk about all 25 of them, but what are some of the things that distinguish a piece of land from being, saleable or not?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of the things we look at, and it's a lot of the science behind it, is in the company we say it's land is not what you see, it's what you don't see. And a lot of people will go on the open market, MLS, and they'll just see a parcel and they'll buy by price. We advise our clients never buy land by price alone because you don't know what runs with it. You don't know if it's in an earthen channel. Can't move those. You don't know if it's on protected land.
Earthen channel is like the LA River.
Yeah, and they're planned. You can't move those. And there's 26 points in that we go through, but each one of those 26 points has a myriad of other topics that those bring up that could be red flags. And our company, once any of those things bring up any red flag, they do not touch it. So really, they're going out and cherry picking premier parcels in the path with the knowledge of where the cities and counties have already planned out where they're going. And we're just placing ourselves and investors like you in the path of where they're already saying they're going, where the main roads are going. So we need to know where the infrastructure is, where millions and billions of dollars are being spent, where zoning changes and density is going to change in the future. There's so much data there and so much knowledge that they have. And they're just really experts now after almost 42 years of simply putting that puzzle together. And that's what we have in our back pockets, telling us why we're buying, and then we educate ourselves on what's happening in that process, and then we guide all of our investors to the finish line. And those are all free services we offer. So what comes with it isn't just a great asset that is going to hold its value, but what comes with it as far as like the services we offer to make sure that it's a win at the end game, and we support that.
So you can go online and you can find a piece of dirt, but if it's in a Joshua tree forest, if it's in a turtle sanctuary, a lot of that's not disclosed.
The red-headed step turtle, we call it.
Yeah, we joke with that. But and then now you've bought a piece of land that you can do nothing with. And really, speaking to your previous point, with wealth comes power, and that's in our mission statement. Is the more wealth women have, and they need wealth right now because of what's going on, and for Dayn and I, if we can get more women to purchase, and in 10 years they're going to be a superpower.
Right, and it's also generational wealth.
Yes,
it's something that you can. I'm thinking of it. Hey, this is something I could pass down to niece and nephews. This is something that is a legacy investment, I believe. Absolutely. So it could benefit you here and now, and it could be something that helps create generational wealth. And I think it's so important that women educate themselves about this, about why they should at least look at land as a possible way to diversify their portfolio. And so what you're saying is your company does all the research, takes all that brain power it would take to figure this out as to where things are being built, where hospitals are coming, where malls are being built, where all different companies are going to be planting themselves in the future, and you're buying land around and near and in front of that. Solar companies, which of course are going to be booming with the new anti-climate bill that just came through, which is very exciting.
And let's be clear, our researchers are such experts. We were positioning solar plays 14 and 15 years ago, and now, supply and demand. There's so much solar out there. They're out of dirt, and we've got laws that are mandated for them to meet our carbon mitigation. And so clearly the numbers are going up and up and up.
Yeah. About how many clients can you share that you have out there?
Oh, probably about 600 is what.
Personally.
About 600
that's just
clients.
Us.
Right.
Yeah, internationally and mostly in the United States, but multiple different states, and we have investors in Europe now and Australia. So
that's just you guys, not
that's
Valor,
just us.
right?
Yes.
And Valor expands even farther because we have entire teams that dominate the Chinese, Japanese, Filipino markets and stuff. So we're across the globe.
Right.
And I want to come back to one point.
Sure.
And another way to invest. We've been talking cash this whole time. Right? You can use your IRAs and your 401ks. Those old ones, one of our agents says, use your lazy money. Right? We can't touch those until we're 72, 60, whatever your age is. And so why not put a piece of dirt in there? Of course, not all of it. If you've got $100,000, legitimately you should look at 33,000.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really what the big guys say. 33% should be in a tangible asset. So
Right.
don't forget those.
I was surprised at how affordable land can be. I think most people think, oh, I have to have millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I was shocked to find that, there are parcels for $15,000, $30,000, $50,000. And like Tracy was sharing with us, also the opportunity to go in groups. So maybe you put in 5 or 10 with another group of people. But the beauty of it is you sit and you wait and wait for someone to come and purchase that property
Exactly right.
for whatever it is they're building. You don't have to put in pipes or,
No.
do any type of building,
No environmentals.
Yeah.
I mean, we mitigate all those landmines. I mean,
Right. Landmines,
So to speak.
yeah,
So to speak.
so to speak.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people have the land horror story,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yes.
that's because they didn't do the right research.
Right.
They bought the wrong piece of land. And we don't have those.
Right,
We
right.
don't have those horror stories.
And with California being the 5th largest economy in the world, I can only think that the future is bright for whatever land is left here in California, especially not that far from Los Angeles. And so, I think that it's good, like you said, to put a percentage, not everything. That would be crazy.
It's also the leader of the world in solar,
Right.
Yes,
So-
We are. Yes, we are. And
Yeah.
those are our clients. Those are our
Love our
clients that got
educated
bought.
clients.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. Don't
That's why
forget
I
the
got
Amazon effect, right? Because Americans are shopaholics. We have 32 million containers coming in the Port of LA, Long Beach Harbor. Those are going on electric trucks now, going up to these distribution facilities. You also have the marijuana industrial
Right.
revolution. We've monetized that for so many clients. And then leading the forefront is the alternative energy. And that's just a Godzilla in the living room.
Right, a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yes.
And to explain what you're saying, because I've taken your classes,
Yes, you have.
is that there's nowhere to put a lot of those things in the city, so they're going to be outside the cities,
Right.
but close enough. And of course, all these bullet trains are going in to connect the city to these outer areas too. So residential is still growing in those areas, as well as solar, marijuana, electric. All of these facilities need land to build on,
Yeah.
and so, of course, it's going to expand outside the city, and so that really is the opportunity, like you're saying.
And I think to utilize the story that John said in the beginning of me growing up as a child in near Newport Beach and that area in Irvine, is that was all farmland, and I grew up as a kid. But my mom and parents were friends with some of the Searstrom family, the Huntingtons, and knew some of the people within that family. They were all farmers. So they sold their farmland to all that commercial development and became incredibly wealthy at the time. And me as a young kid remember having a conversation with my mom. It's like, well, why don't you invest in some land? It seems like, and she was like, that's really never going to be anything out here because it was all farmland. That's
Right.
what most people only understand what they
Right.
see.
Right.
But for me, I was already thinking like a land banker. It's like, well, where this is going to change, and look
Right.
at that, and look at areas like Temecula, Riverside, areas that we thought were never going to be anything when I was a kid, but now they're prime real estate areas.
Right.
That's the game.
Yeah,
You get there when the knowledge, and you just wait for it to change, and you monetize on it.
Sure. My wife always says that she grew up in the valley, and there was like orange groves and plenty of land, and of course now it's all built up, and who'd have thunk,
Right,
And I think it is the same for all the areas expanding outside the LA area.
Precisely.
Even look at how Santa Clarita has boomed, and then now it's moving slowly out further and
has to
further,
keep-
and
yeah.
and so. And like we said, the bullet train will be connecting all that, and also taking people from here to Vegas, and so all of that land in between here and there is a great opportunity. And tell us about the class that you all do. And have you taken their class?
I have really early on.
Yes,
like a
yes.
buddy.
Yeah.
Let's focus on Tracy since she's here.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, we positioned Tracy out in, right next to California City. In fact,
Right,
kind
which
of
we
in,
own out there too.
Which is, if you Google California City and land, it's horror stories. But guess what now? She bought before 2019, right before COVID.
Right.
Right? And so nothing was up there. During COVID, 50,000 acres was purchased by solar companies.
Wow.
50,000 acres.
Wow.
And so now she's got about 15 massive marijuana grow houses up there. And this has just happened in 2 years.
Next to your parcel.
So next to her parcel. And California City just built a brand new high school. It was there when she purchased. But why does a community build, multi-million-dollar high schools? So she's really won the trifecta. But she's just going to sit there and knit a sweater while she waits for this to happen, right? And she's not a knitter, but that's how easy it is. And
Right.
and how
And
much
we
are
own
your
out there too.
Yes,
California
you do.
City, yeah.
How much are your taxes?
Minimal.
Yeah, what is
Don't even-
$400 a
something like
year?
that, yeah.
On 40 grand, it's nothing.
It's negligible.
Yeah,
Negligible, sure. Well, I hope we're opening women's eyes to learning more about this because it is a viable way to, diversify their portfolio, use their 401k actively for something other than stocks that who knows, but any investment, who knows? So that's why it's good, right, to not have all our eggs in one
Absolutely.
basket.
And the difference is with that statement is we're your neighbors, right? So not only did you buy up there, but we own 4 parcels up there now.
Right.
So we've been buying one a year since you purchased.
And you have like 19 parcels total, right?
19 total.
Yes.
And the other service sector we do is we ride with you to the finish line. So when someone knocks on Tracy's door, we're going to be whispering on her shoulder, letting her know how to maximize her ROI on that property.
Right. And I think that's very important because you do need that coaching and that expertise behind you. You don't know where or when to sell it. And I think that's a amazing part of being part of the Valor family when you buy into that you guys own land with us next to it, that you can answer any questions about it, and that you take it over the finish line. So I think that's all really important because nobody wants to be out there on their own second-guessing things, right?
Yeah.
Especially.
Now, listen, we're not agents when you sell. So let's be clear. That's a free service.
Yeah.
And so you have to be nice to us, too. Right? You start being a hater.
Oh, darn, you
we're
didn't
not
mention
there.
that part.
Right. You got to be kind.
So what would your advice be to someone considering, learning more about this? How would they get in touch with you? How would they get to come to the presentation and learn more about it?
Again, the presentation, as you guys well know, we offer it. We have a standing one every Thursday or whenever people want. We do them live. So, and they're no obligation, as you guys know. We fill your head with lots of information, make your ears bleed, and then we kind of let you, now go ask questions, learn some more, let it settle. And we've had some of our friends that have taken literally over a decade of gathering data before they actually moved on their first parcel. And we're always telling people, we're very patient. So it's like, this industry's a patience game.
Meanwhile, they could have made a lot of money.
Exactly. And there is a little regret on their side on that, too. I won't say any names, but they know. And, but we understand it's like everyone has to do this in their own time. And this isn't for everybody, just like any investment.
Right.
But again, it's a no obligation presentation. Fill your head with knowledge and, do what you want with it.
Can they find you both on LinkedIn, or how could they connect with you?
LinkedIn and Facebook, any of those.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's Dayn Conrad and John Ehlers. That's for those just listening, Ehlers. Ehlers. And so they can find you on LinkedIn. And is that the best way to contact you?
Oh, but the best way for me is Facebook, but we're on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that means we're over 50, John.
Yes.
Because I do Facebook too.
Exactly.
Still can't operate the electronics.
And Tracy,
You can do a TikTok.
if somebody wanted to reach out and talk to you about your experience, how would they reach you?
Oh, they could just actually go to my website for my company. My number is on there.
Oh, great.
And I can talk to anybody about it.
Okay, so that's biggerpicturela.com for those just listening in and not visually seeing the show. So you're excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm contemplating getting another one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great space to be in.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And what I love, Tracy, is that there's a whole group of us women that now are getting involved in this. We're kind of like the land girls. And
It's a club.
it's a land girls
It's becoming
club.
a division.
Yes,
Really it
and
is.
so
There's
it's
power
really
here.
fun having other
Very grounded
people in our
women.
circle to chat about it, to go see the land,
Ba-dum-bum.
and to just kind of take this ride together. So we're building on our girls' club of landowners, and wanted to have them on as guests today to make you aware of the possibility of, looking into, is this something that you'd like to do to diversify your portfolio? So thank you, everybody, for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Are you on, other than Facebook and LinkedIn, can they find you on
Instagram? Yeah,
okay.
And mine is usually really easy to find because my first name is spelled Dayn, Conrad. So
Yes.
my name usually pops up right away. So that's really
and
pretty
thank
easy
you
to
for
track.
spelling that. I forgot
Yeah,
to spell your
yeah.
name,
Yeah.
because who
Most
knows
people
how to
will-
spell Dayn?
Yeah, most people spell
Yeah.
it like the dog, or
Right.
pronounce it as Dayn.
Absolutely.
easy
And
to track.
if you want my phone number, I mean, that's a best way to get me.
Oh, well,
So
go ahead.
It's 303-263-6933.
Okay, but he's not available.
I know.
Not right now.
28 years. I know.
And of course, Tracy, you can find on LinkedIn, and are you on Instagram also?
The company is.
Yeah.
Bigger Picture is for sure.
Bigger Picture LA is on Instagram. And of course, you can find me, Catherine Gray, Invest in Her, on Instagram. And of course, on all the social media, you can find She Angel Investors. We just love connecting women to good knowledge of financial resources and also investing resources. So thank you for tuning in to us today, guys. Thanks so much for
Thanks for
being
having us.
here. Always a pleasure to talk dirt with you guys.
Well, let's power up the ladies now, right?
That's right. Everybody, make it a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful day, and thank you much to my guests. Remember, if you're looking to launch a business or grow your business, check out our e-course, 6 Ways to Fund Your Business, available at She Angel Investors.